Hi everyone, for tonight's Nightcap and review, I'm having an adult beverage on the rocks, and I'll be reviewing The Palace of Eros by Caro De Tobertis. This is a book I received as an ARC from NetGalley, but of course I'm giving my honest opinion. These are the tropes. And there are no content warnings listed in this book, but these are things I did find that you will come across if you choose to read this book, so just to make you aware of. Of course, I could have missed something, but that's what I saw. Now, what's my rating for this book? I am giving this a 3.5. We'll get into that later on, but first, what's this book about? So this book is a retelling of the Eros and Psyche myth. So the book starts off with Psyche having garnered the attention of the local men who spread the word, and this has caught the attention of men outside the village who have all decided to come and gaze upon the great beauty that they describe to be as beautiful, if not more beautiful, than the goddess Aphrodite. Psyche doesn't like this. In fact, she shudders under the leering attention of all these men who come to gaze upon her, who then sneak away to take care of their desires, sometimes with unwilling local girls. So having all these men in the village actually creates a lot of problems that soon arise, not just for her family, but for the village as a whole. So some start to believe that there is a curse upon this village and that Psyche is at the center of it. It is then Psyche's father decides to go visit the oracle to obtain a vision as to what to do about to end this curse. So he goes and a vision is given. Now the thing with an oracle's vision is it must be followed to a T or their problems will only worsen. And the vision is that Psyche must be sacrificed to a monster on this particular stone in order to end the curse. So that's what happens. Her father comes home, straps her to a stone to be sacrificed to this monster to end the curse. So it is from this stone that Psyche is actually swept away to a hidden palace where she believes her marriage to a monster is to begin. So the monster that she supposedly married is in fact a hidden figure that she has never laid eyes on, that she only visits at night. Now this figure does not come off monstrous. In fact, it's a woman. And it just leaves her wondering who this woman is that she's married, because at night she gives her untold pleasures, and during the day when she is by herself, the palace that she is surrounded by is meeting all of her needs and then some, surrounding her with luxury she can only imagine. But as the days pass, she starts to wonder about the woman who she calls her husband truly is, and starts to wonder if it's better to bring the secrets into the light and discover who she is, regardless of the rules set by her husband. What could go wrong? So what are my thoughts on this book? Again, I'm giving it a 3.5. I'll be honest, I have mixed feelings about this book. I was super excited for it because it's a Greek retelling, queer love story between Eros and Psyche. Sign me up. I love Greek mythology and this whole concept sounded so good. So I was really hopeful for it, but I'll be honest, at 50%, I almost DNF'd it. It starts off okay, but it really lags in the middle, and it's really the last 70%, or the last 30%, I should say, it's at 70%, is when it really got interesting and enjoyable for me, because that became the quintessential Greek mythology book with gods getting involved, angry gods, and trials happening to the human, and sometimes a mythical creature making an appearance. That's what really saved the book for me. Any book that I finish is getting a 3, but it's the ending that bumped it up to a 3.5. Now, I do have other thoughts, but first, what did I enjoy about this book? So what I really enjoyed about this book, other than the concept, was also the message behind this, about expanding Psyche's knowledge and vision of self, as it were. All her whole life, she's been pushed down, pushed into a box based on the needs and wants and desires of men because they fear our power. So here she was allowed to grow and expand, and I love that message and how Eros was encouraging her to be more, be what she wanted. Like I mentioned just now, I did really enjoy the last 30% of the book because of all the trials that both Psyche went through, where you got to see her intelligence, bravery, and just strength really shine. But also you got to see Eros go through some self-reflection and growth that I really enjoyed as well. Now, there were some things I did not enjoy about this book. The first being, unfortunately, the author's writing style. Now, the second half of the book became much more enjoyable, like I keep saying, and that was due also in part to the writing style becoming more concise. The first half of the book, the author uses very flowery language, but the sentences are all run-on sentences, and in the end they actually didn't really describe anything that added to the storyline, the imagery, or even the characters. They actually felt more like words on a page to meet some kind of word quota. So, and when I say run-on sentence, I mean like one paragraph, 10 lines, one sentence. So At times I was just scratching my head wondering what I was reading. I will also say the middle of the book does slow down and just lags. Now, before I describe the next thing I didn't quite enjoy, I first have to describe Eros. In this book, Eros is able to change their form. They are able to be fully female presenting, fully male presenting, or they're able to change the bottom half of their anatomy to be whatever form they would desire it to be. So when Psyche is intimate with Eros with a female anatomy, the next day they decide to explore their own sexuality through self-pleasure. It was amazing. It was about taking control and learning your body and understanding its needs and what brings you pleasure. Very empowering. I loved it. But following the night when where Psyche is intimate with Eros with a bottom half male anatomy, Psyche becomes, in a way, devolved to me and sex crazed and starts describing humping everything in the palace and how nothing was safe. A mortar and pedestal. I think a chair was used. They just seemed to be humping everything in sight. And that just felt, like I said, a de-evolution for her when we're trying to expand her, take her outside of a box of meeting male needs and pleasures. And at time, it really just felt like when you hear those dude bros say, oh, look at that willful woman. All she needs is a good night, and I'll have her willing submissive in my hand to meet all my needs. That's really kind of what it felt. She got some good D and just devolved, and I didn't enjoy that when the whole message of this book is about expanding her female self, as it were. Now, like I said, I was really excited for this book. I love the concept, and unfortunately, it just didn't live up to my expectations. Now, it will be available August 13th, and just because it wasn't a 5-star read for me, I encourage you to try this book if it sounds like something you are interested in. If it's your next 5-star read, I love that for you. So like I said, August 13th, I hope everyone has a good night and happy readings.